Good morning. It's 11 a.m. in Seoul. I'm Kim Mo-kyun at the Arirang News Center. We're breaking into our regular programming to bring you a live briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the coronavirus outbreak. In just a few moments, we'll cut into the briefing at the Sejong Government Complex with simultaneous interpretation in English. The Central Disaster Management Headquarters Overall Officer of Strategy and Planning, Son Young-rae, will be briefing us on the coronavirus situation here in South Korea. He will fill us in on the number of new infection cases and what kind of efforts the government is making to contain the virus, especially with the Chuseok holidays just around the corner. Now, the briefing is about to start. Let's take a listen.
First of all, we have Mr. Son Young-rae, who will be explaining on the COVID-19 response. Let us now begin our regular briefing for September 28th, Monday. As of today midnight, we have 40 new local infections, and among them, in the Greater Seoul area, we have 33 cases. And in a non-metropolitan area, we have 7 cases being reported. And we had 5 additional fatalities, and I extend my deepest condolences to the deceased and the members of the bereaved families. Currently, we are seeing a containment in the COVID-19 outbreak, and we are seeing a gradual decline in the number of on-day infections. And we have had some 92 infections during the past 2 weeks, and this is comparable to the 170 which has been reported during the past 2 weeks. However, we still continue to witness cluster infections at door-to-door facilities and many other public facilities, and we also have 20% of the total cases being untraceable patients. And therefore, this calls for the importance of quarantine measures, especially during the Chuseok holiday. And the government has put in place the next 2 weeks, starting from today until October 11th, as the special antivirus period. And today is the very first day of such an intensified measure. And the level 2 social distancing for the nationwide will be maintained. However, depending on the level of severity by each of the local authorities, we will be having differentiated measures. As for the gatherings of more than 50 people indoors and more than 100 outdoors, including village events and festivals, will be banned. And also, all of the people at the saunas or other public facilities need to wear face masks. And as for the public indoor facilities like libraries and museums and art centers, which have intensified quarantine measures, will have to also comply all of the users to wear face masks. And at department stores and traditional markets, which will see an increase of the users, we will be intensifying our quarantine measures for these areas, as well as the tourist destinations as well. In the metropolitan area, 11 high-risk facilities will be also continuously to suspend operations, and we will also intensify quarantine measures for cinemas and so forth. And in non-metropolitan area, 5 nightlife facilities, including clubs and bars, will also be banned for suspensions of operations for the next 2 weeks. And we also have 1339 hotline, which is to serve as the consultations for the corona blues. And we are seeing an increase in the number of calls. However, we have limitations with 42 call members who are on site to help these people. And we will be securing more people so that we can offer more help to the public. First of all, we will gather from the help from central government officials. About 12 officials will be mobilized to the 1339 call center temporarily, so that they can also help with the consultations as well. And also, we will be newly employing some people who, in order to fill those places who have been going on maternal leaves as well. And we will also consult with the mental experts like professors and so forth, who will be mobilized to our center as well. The Welfare Ministry will continue to witness the level of quarantine during the Chuseok holiday in order to implement a culture where we can encourage the people to stay home. We are encouraging them to stay home further. And we are also having a campaign so that we can also have the users and the public to apply for writings and literatures as for the topic of arrest. And we also have 11 types of images of arrest, which will be distributed via SNS, and we will make sure that the image of arrest will be spread to the nation's public. And as for the letters that are sent to their loved ones, especially their senior parents, and the letters that are sent to the children by these senior parents will also be made broadcast through our radio stations as well. And they will also be provided online as well. And we will continuously to look at some blind spots where we need some support. And in the summer holidays, in the summer region, we have set up ACs at major screening clinics and public health centers, and we will also implement the heating services for the upcoming winter as well. And we are also intensifying our quarantine for the QR code entry log, and starting from next week, we will also streamline these registration period, and we will also intensify our notifications for those who do not comply with these measures. And in order to provide great and comprehensive support to the public, we are also intensifying our efforts. And starting from with the fourth supplementary budgets, we are providing financial incentives and allowances for the self-employed and many small business owners. And with the COVID-19 outbreak, many of the small business owners have witnessed great financial difficulties. And this is intended to help those who are in need. And they include the self-employed people as well as small-scale businesses with less than 40 billion annual revenue, and we will also look at the high-risk facilities, and we will provide, regardless of their revenues, and 1 million Korean won for the financial assistance, and we will make sure that these allowances are given out before we enjoy the Chuseok holidays. And we are also receiving our applications through the online website. And as for the 270,000 people who have applied via our website until 24th. We have rolled out our payment on the 25th as well. And also we have a large sum of money to be rolled out today as well. And as for those who have applied until yesterday afternoon, we will make sure that you will be receiving the payments before Chuseok holidays. And as for those who have not yet applied for these allowances, we will make sure that you can do so after the Chuseok holidays. And as for the 200,000 people who have closed their businesses due to the COVID-19, we are also providing special allowances as well. And we have a special website designated for this. And we also will make sure that those who have applied until 28th of this month will be paid out today. And we have about 6,000 people who have applied. And we will also like to appreciate send big words of appreciation to these self-employed as well as small business owners, and we hope to alleviate any financial difficulties with such dividends. And we will also provide special allowances for the child rearing allowance for children, for families with younger children. And in order to alleviate financial difficulties authorities, about 6 million people, 6 million children who are under the age of 14, and in middle school they will be receiving dividends, and up to 200,000 as well as 150,000 will be given to the families with young children and middle school children, respectively. And as for the middle school students, we will be rolling out the payment sometime in October. And as for the rallies that are scheduled on the 3rd of October, we will also have stern measures. And we would like to note that at these public rallies, they are also prone to high infectious risks as they engage in chants. And we have witnessed in the Liberation Day Seoul rallies, and the confirmed cases stemming from the public rallies stand at over 600. And to this end, we would like to mention that all of those rallies that have been reported to be held in Seoul, we have about 137 cases that are also have been disassembled so far. And once again, we would like to note that we will have stern measures to disassemble any of these gatherings. And if there are illegal violences in the course, we would also like to note that you will be faced with penalization as well. Now we are just days ahead of our Chuseok holidays. We understand that this is a time to greet each other by gathering, and it is a very pity for us to encourage the public to refrain from having such family gatherings. However, we have learned from May and August with a mass movement of people that we had a large resurgence of the virus. So during the Chuseok holidays and until the day of Hangul on the 3rd of October, depending on how well we manage the COVID-19, the future of the autumn will also be dependent on these measures. So we also recommend people to refrain from going to their hometowns and visiting their relatives, and rather stay home safe and sound and enjoy relaxation. As for the families with senior parents, we ask you to take particular precautions as well, as COVID-19 is also very fatal to those over the age of 60. And up until now, experiencing social distancing campaign, we have learned very well that we can stay psychologically close while staying physically apart. So we believe that this is the slogan that you should remember during Chuseok holidays, and you need to greet your family members through video chats, and hope you enjoy the Chuseok holidays going forward. So in order for you to enjoy the Chuseok holiday and to return to your routine daily lives, the government will also exert our full effort to this end. Thank you very much.
지금부터 질의응답 시간을 가지겠습니다. 브리핑은 사회적 거리.
Now that was the daily briefing on the COVID-19 situation here in South Korea. We just heard there were 50 additional infection cases of COVID-19, bringing the total to 23,661. There were 5 additional deaths, with a death toll at 406. Now that wraps up our coverage this morning. We'll be back with more of a regular newscast at 12 p.m. Korea time. Bye for now.
Chuseok, one of the biggest holidays in Korea, is when families and relatives reunite in their hometowns. But this year, Koreans are being urged to